Welcome to Action Coaching. We're certainly delighted that you join us on today because God has some special coaching tips for you. Now, the design of Action Coaching is to give you some coaching tips to help you continue to move on in the endeavor that God has given you in your life. Of course, we don't have time to get in depth in each one of the coaching tips. We just certainly help to give you some tips that you can dig into deeper and you can use them and continue to move forward in your life and your career. Everybody needs a coach. Nobody makes it by themselves. Whether you want to call it a coach, a mentor, or a good friend that can instruct you, you need someone to help you move to the next level. Nobody makes it by themselves. It's just simply a process in which God has designed so that we can continue to strive for bigger and better things. So that's why we are so thankful for the many coaches in our life, or the many mentors, or the many people that have come along and shared the right thing to us at the right time. And when we look back, we owe them a whole lot for our success. So I'm certainly thankful for you joining us on today. Now I'm going to talk to you from some points I like to entitle Action Success. To give you some of the insights into some things I learned as far as being successful and doing the things that God have allowed me to do. And I trust that these things that I talk to you about will help you move forward in your endeavor. I believe that once you get the right coaching tips, then you can move further, faster, and understand what is happening in your life and how to deal with it. So the first thing I want to talk about is, if a person has a vision or a dream or a goal, however you want to call it, people use different names to it. Some people call it a vision, some people call it a dream, then some people call it a goal. Well, the bottom line, they all point to the same thing. Now, one of the first things and one of the most difficult things to do for a lot of us and a lot of people is, they used to tell me years ago, you need to keep the main thing the main thing. Now I understand that then, and of course, as I began to evolve and go through some issues, it came to me a little better. When they say you need to keep the main thing the main thing, basically they were saying in a short sort of way, you need to be focused. Now, I know all of us feel like we can do many things at once. I get it. We're multi-talent. We got a whole host of ability. But it's usually the one thing that's going to give you the ability to do a whole lot of other things. But however, you got to understand, you got to focus on that one thing. Now, most people call focus where they might be focused on it for a month, and then their attention moves to something else. They want to go focus on something else. And they don't complete the necessary ability that you need to get by just being focused on that one thing. When God told me word in action, I didn't change it to word in action, cross the sea over by the water or something else. I had to stay focused on that one thing. What was my job? What was I called to do? To motivate people to take action. Now I didn't say I was going to motivate people to take action to build a church or have a TV ministry or do all of these different things. I didn't know nothing about all of that at a particular point. I just knew that I had to stay focused on this one thing. So my every waking moment, every day I was up with just this one simple message. Motivate people to put the word in action. I wasn't thinking about anything else because I understood later on if I didn't get my focus right, none of the other things were going to happen. So I say to you, whatever you're doing, whatever your dream is, whatever the vision you have, then learn to stay focused on that first. Now I know someone is saying, well, I don't want to stay focused on it all the time, but the bottom line is you need to stay focused on it long enough so that it'll give you the ability or the wherewithal to focus on other things. If, say, a person want to have, maybe they want to have a shop where they're baking cakes, but they can't focus long enough on baking cakes because all of a sudden, I want your shop to bake cakes, I want your shop to do brownies, I want your shop to do pies, I want your shop to do different candies. And you don't maximize the one thing. Now, if you stay focused on baking the cakes, then eventually you can become so good at the cakes that it'll give you the means and the income to say, now that I've accomplished that, I might want to try brownies, or I might want to try something else. A lot of people I talk to in the ministry and outside the ministry, the main thing I have to get them back to is focus. Even if somebody said, well, I want to preach the gospel. I want to go all over the world and preach the gospel. I want to be this evangelist. I want my name up in light. Wait a minute now. You need to start focusing on what you're going to preach. How much information do you know about that particular topic? You need to focus on the things that'll make you the best in one area before you can branch off into a whole lot of things. Now, I know a lot of people say differently, but I believe that truly in life, a person is only exceptionally good at one thing. They can do other things, but I believe that they're exceptionally good at one thing. I believe it's like before you get a tree, you got to start with a seed. And that seed will turn into a tree, and maybe that tree can grow apples, grow a host of things, but it all starts with being a seed first. And you got to get that seed in the right place before all the other things can grow. I know that you have billionaires and multimillionaires in this world, but the basic success was on the one thing first, and then their money allowed them to buy other business and get other things going, and they're very good at them. But the bottom line is they're known by that one thing. That is the thing that they were focused on, and that was the thing that gave them their ultimate success. So you gotta have focus. The second thing to be successful is, that I believe, is you gotta work on your emotions. Emotionally, where are you? And then somebody said, well, why do I have to work on my emotions? Because there are going to be many things that are going to take place with you accomplishing that one thing, that you're going to have your emotions under control. You know, when you're hiring a person on a job, a lot of times one of the questions you want to ask them is, where are you emotionally? What if you get a boss you don't like? What if you get hours you don't like? What if things happen on the job that you don't personally like, or they're going against what you personally want to do? Where are your emotions going to be? Are you going to be a disgruntled employee? Are you going to be a problem? Or can you keep your emotions under control to get the task done? As they say a lot of times, don't take it personal. Understand you got a goal to achieve. I'll be right back to talk to you.
Welcome to Word in Action Fall Festival. Action Creativity.
It's close to midnight, and something evil's lurking in the dark. Under the moonlight, you see a sight that almost stops your heart. You try to scream, but terror takes the sound before you make it. Try to freeze, as horror looks you right between the eyes. You're paralyzed. 'Cause this is thriller night. No one's gonna save you. Enemies about to strike. You know it's thriller night. You're fighting for your life. It's thriller tonight. You hear the door slam and realize there's no one left around. You feel a cold hand. I wonder if you'll ever see the sun. You close your eyes and hope that this is just imagination. But all the while, you hear the creature creeping up behind. You're out of time, 'cause this is thriller night. Ain't no second chance against a thing with 40 eyes.
I left off talking about how a person handles their emotion. That's a part of success, because on your journey to accomplishing anything, it's going to be a whole lot of things that will challenge your emotions. And in everything, you just can't go all emotionally, but you have to control your emotion. Now, I'm the type of guy, when it comes to riding rides at the amusement park, I want to be in the front of the car. I love the thrill of whatever the ride is going to take. Now I understand going up is not the hard part. Everybody is relaxed when they're going up. Because it's a roller coaster, you have everybody going up and you hear the little engine and it's just going up high. And then finally, when you reach the peak of that hill, then you stop going up and start going down at an amazing speed. You're going down faster than you went up. And you can hear a whole lot of emotions that are taking place when the roller coaster is coming downhill. Some people are yelling, screaming, ducking their head, holding on to somebody. Everybody's going through different emotions. Then you always have somebody that enjoy the ride and just get excited about going down so fast and turning every curve, and the ride is jaking them, that when they get off, they immediately go get in line and say, let's do it again. Meaning that emotionally they understand that, as in life, you're going to be going up on some things and you're going to be coming down on some things. I'm trying to figure out which one is most difficult? Because to go up, you got to hold your emotions in check. And coming down, you got to hold your emotions in check because you don't know the different things that can happen on this journey. Better yet, it's kind of like, of course, I'm a pastor, and one of my jobs is performing weddings. Now, isn't it the amazing thing about the wedding that we already telling them what's happening, what's going to happen in the wedding ceremony? Start out dearly beloved, we gather here together, join this man and woman, and then you get through it. Do you promise to forsake all others for him alone or her alone? Do you promise in sickness and in health to death do you part? And I do, and you saying I do, and everybody's celebrating. Now, do you promise to stick with this person? Because you don't know what you're finna get into now. I love you on the altar, but I don't know how you get when you moody. Am I still gonna stay? Or I'm throw up my hand and say I'm gone? Or all of the different things you have to go through. It's about understanding that controlling emotions are necessary so that you don't make foolish mistakes. A lot of people are incarcerated today because they could not control their emotions. And in their emotions, it made them do something that they got to pay for the rest of their life. So you have to understand a part of success is controlling your emotion. I didn't say you be without emotions. You just control your emotion. Now the third thing I want to talk about, because my time is quickly coming to an end, you got to be adaptable. Meaning, to be successful, to carry out a dream, you're going to have to be adaptable because everything ain't going to just go the way you want it all of the time. You got to adapt. You got to make changes. You got to be flexible. What if something does not go right? What are you going to do? Are you going to sit there and moan over it didn't go right, or are you going to adapt? What if the person you thought that was going to be with you the whole time you were in business all of a sudden wake up one morning and leave you? What are you going to do? Are you going to moan and cry because they left, or are you going to adapt? The great part of success is adaptability. You have to be able to be flexible and adaptable in all situations because number one, you got the ultimate goal in front of you. And whatever it takes to get to the vision, that's what you have got to be able to do and adapt to. When I started out on my dream, I was always used to being able to buy what I wanted to eat at any given time. I never realized that there were going to be times that I didn't have money to buy anything to eat. And I couldn't sit there and cry about it. I ain't got no money to buy anything to eat. I just had to adapt for the situation. People do not like to adapt, but it is necessary. And this is a coaching point because if you don't adapt, you're never gonna make it to the place that you want to go. I'll say this, I remember we were playing sports in high school, and there were certain things on the basketball court I liked to do. And I was real good at doing them, and they worked for me all of the time. I just didn't realize that once a team had saw me do those moves and have great success, the next time we played each other, they had a plan to take what I do good away from me In other words, they were seeing that I have the ability to adapt. If I've been used to going right, they're going to make sure I got to go left. Or if you're used to going left, they're going to make sure you got to go right. If you're used to one person being on you, they're going to send 2 or 3 people at you. The whole issue is if you're going to be successful, you got to adapt. Some people can't go further because they want everything just right. Well, I can tell you, everything ain't going to be just right. But if you adapt quick enough, you can make everything just right. So the things you're going to have to do, they're not going to go right because you planned them. What if somebody show up late? What if a machine doesn't work? What is your position on being able to adapt to achieve the ultimate success? So I just talked about 3 things that are necessary. There are many more things, but let's just go back over them. First, got to be focused. Second, got to maintain your emotion. Number 3, you got to understand adaptability. That there are times you're going to have to adapt and change your method and adopt another method that'll help you achieve the same goal, but it'll just be better. That's what's wrong a lot of times in our world and people trying to achieve great things. They do not want to practice some of these principles. They don't want to be focused. They want to have 50 vision going at once. Then sometimes people say, well, I ain't got enough time in the day because I got so many things going on. Well, chances are you ain't accomplished much in that day because you gave a little to this, a little to that, a little to this. Consequently, you did not arrive at the place you supposed to. Or since your emotions were not in check, somebody might throw you off emotionally and you might spend half the day mad because they didn't deliver on their promises or they didn't talk to you a certain way. And so your emotions just go all out of control. And then the third thing, you got to adapt. Though we use machines, they don't always function all of the time. So we got to be able to adapt and still get the job done. These are just some tips. These are just some things you want to practice if you want to be successful on a high level. Hope they bless you on today. Let me know what you think about them. Reach out to me on social media. I like to hear your comments and hear your thinking on that and see that it really bless you. Well, I don't want you to go anywhere. I'll be right back to talk to you. Thank you for being a part of Action Coaching on today. I want to take this opportunity to encourage you to sit down and sow a generous seed faith offering for the support of Action Coaching. Yes, through your financial support, you help us to expand Action Coaching and become bigger and better and do more creative things to help you coach the best that we possibly can. So through your giving, through your financial support, we are able to do these things. I want to encourage you to sit down and sow a special seed faith offering on today for the support of Action Coaching. Certainly we thank God for those that have been supporting us and we're going to continue to support us. We're grateful for you, but we want other partners to join us on today and support us here at Action Coaching. No seed is too large or too small. We just want to challenge you to do it now. Reach out to us now financially so that we can continue expanding Action Coaching. Now there's a link in my bio that will give you a host of ways to give unto Action Coaching. And certainly I believe that God's best is going to happen to you as a result of you supporting Action Coaching. Not because it's just me doing Action Coaching, but when you reach out to help others, others will reach out to help you. And that's the principle of the scripture. You reap what you sow. So as you support some, God will support you. And we thank you so much for that. Now remember, there's a link in my bio. Got a host of ways that you can give unto Action Coaching, and I certainly appreciate it. Well, the Lord bless you. I've certainly enjoyed talking to you on today. And as I do each and every week, I want to encourage you. Share the word with a friend and keep the word in action.